Well, I think this will be my eighth election. I actually was approached by some elected officials and citizens and asked, said, John, would you consider running again? I said, you know what? I really hadn't thought about it. I said, when I said legislator, they tried to get me to stay for another term. I said, I kind of believe in term limits, guys. So I thought about it, prayed about it, got my commander in chief, my wife, to go along with it. She said, this is the last one if I win. But I did it because I feel like I have such a tie. I've been in Johnson County and worked with people uh, in all levels of government here. Been here for 71 years, and it's been home. It's always been home. I went from Franklin to Bartlesville to live in Greenwood now. I thought maybe it's a way for me to help give back and help the citizens work with, and it helps because you still get the contacts with the state level and the governor's office. So try to help and do some good, and I enjoy it. Uh, I try to, to save, well, our county fleet programs things. I try to save the taxpayer money and look at things. And I think if you work together as a team and look at things, I think you can make it better for the citizens and keep the other elected officials in the loop on things. I believe in that. So it was just it'll be my last time I run. I mean, maybe I should say it, but it will be. But I still feel like I have excellent knowledge of government from all levels, and I enjoy it and want to try to make a difference. And really, that's it. It's not about the money. I just like to like to do it, and if I'm fortunate enough and the citizens vote me back, I'll be here. Got my wife's blessing, and here I am. So we'll see what the citizens say. Well, from uh, town manager to county council, all the different things. I mean, I was in the military. That discipline, get discipline from that and stuff. And law enforcement. I went into law enforcement then, and worked my way through from a reserve to ranks until I was chief deputy colonel, uh, highest rank, and did 21 years. I was the SWAT team commander, the dive team, helicopter pilot for the department. I enjoy government. It was things that I had the knowledge and training. Like I said, I worked on Secret Service details, so I had credentials for that. Wanted to do it, but I think with the experience of the towns, the city, the county, the state, that all those things work together, and I think that no one had been there, and not only being a member. In most cases, I was chairman of the board of commissioners for all 4 years, and it was a part-time job, but I made it a 40-hour-a-week job, and took the salary, which was a token of what I was working. But I did it for because I want to make a difference, and there's documented things during that time that I did. So I worked my way up through, and somebody asked me the other day. They said, "Well, I think you need to run for Congress." I said, "I really don't want to be in Congress. I'm a hometown boy, and I want to stay where my roots were at, and do more good here." My philosophy as it was before when I was on the council and stuff. I think that I'd like to meet with. You're assigned usually when you're on the council. You're assigned as a liaison to some departments and so forth. I always had the thoughts of I'd meet with the judges, meet with the different office holders, and say, okay, what's going on now? Any problems, and what can we do? Or let's talk about this. And I'm going to take that same philosophy back that I had before. Meet with those elected officials. They have a job to do. We have a job to do. If we all know what's going on, then I think it makes it better for them. And by taking the time with them and explain it to them, it makes it a little easier then when you go to the meetings that they say, okay, well, okay, I've already been, you know, Mr. Price just told me we can do this, we can't do that, and so forth, and it takes for the vote with the committees. But I said, I want to have that open door to those folks, and you know, and I've talked to some already, and they said, that'd be great. We'd like to have that back. But and I'm not saying against what the council's doing now whatsoever. I'm just saying that my philosophy is a little different. It's always worked for all these years and all these elections, and my feelings is, you do the job for the people, and uh, then you'll be back. Well, if I was it passed out of the House, it didn't pass out of the Senate on the SB one. And if that would have been, we wouldn't have had some of this problem. I'm just being, sometimes you got to be blunt. I think that, yeah, it does. It calls a shortfall for local government. Then you got to find it, so forth. I mean, state's got money. Yeah, there needs to be something worked out on this. And what it does is when that happens, it causes a shortfall for local governments, town, city, county. I hear from all. I've talked to the mayors. And Franklin's doing pretty good. They have some surplus in there, and the mayor, I've talked to him good. It's affecting Greenwood, a lot of the other jurisdictions, and so forth. First of all, I'd probably go to the legislators that serve the area, and I'd make that's me. That's where it starts. Let's go back to there. That would be my first thing, is go back in and start talking to the people that I know at the General Assembly. And I was my second year, and I made chairman on a committee, and I was on 4 committees. And the speaker said, with all your knowledge in local government, you need to be my chairman. So you're one of the 16 people in leadership. And I did. And I said, okay, we're not forgetting where home is, guys. And I said, and I'd go talk to other legislators that, John, I really never thought about it that way. I said, we need to look at it this way, because, I'm a legislator now, but I still serve those people in those areas. And I said, and they said, well, no, you have this, you have part of Morgan County. I said, no, I work for all the people. I said, I might only get elected to these people, but you can't forget about the other areas. And so I would start there, I think. But it's, yeah, it does cause a hardship. And then where do you do? You start talking to the office holders and say, well, we can't afford to not have any more people. We can't lay them off and stuff. And then you go back. So then you start looking at things. So do we start looking at programs to see what can we do to tighten it up here if we can, or if this is a little heavy, can we, move here and try to do some things? And if they do that, and then sometimes you get outside the series, you got to go back into the physical body, the county council, and you got to ask them, can we do this? But to do that, then you have the justifications and documentation to go in and say, okay, this is why, and go from there. I think there's some ways they can try to do it, but it is a hardship. Take away police, fire, or any, but you're taking away from the citizens. And I said, if we need to do it, and there's some things, believe me, whether it be the state level or congressional level, there's ways that they could save on those and push it back to the locals. My first opinion of that is pass the buck. They're passing the buck to the locals. If we can cut it at the local level, you can cut it at the state level. Look at the budgets. Look at where the funding is going. I mean, it's just, shouldn't say this, in Washington, D.C., they'll spend $1 million to see how high grasshoppers jump. Now, tell me how that's going to help. I don't know. And there's things like that. Believe me, those things have no direct effect on the taxpayers, the citizens, the schools, the families. So let's cut out some of that kind of stuff. Let's start here, go to here, then come here. Start at the lowest money, and then I'd rather try to find ways, rather than trying to raise taxes on people, is to try to find ways collectively with, the state level and the congressional level. What can we do? Let's look at this. Do we really need to do this? Let's save money here, and it's a domino effect. It'll come back down to the cities and towns. I think we need to look at that and be proactive from that aspect. And the only way we're going to do that is unify and go as a group and do it. I'm not in favor of raising taxes when there's other areas. I think we could go and take our position on it. And I think most elected officials in the county that I know of would follow that suit. I look at it as a team. It's no whether it's in the military or anything else. You're a team. You go out. You got my 6, and you same thing in government. You got to work together and explain and stuff. And we've got to agree to disagree sometimes, but we also got to be looking at how we can do some things and just make some compromises. The quarterly meetings, I think, is good because it's you're uninformed or misinformed. So let's just be informed.